The Real Mother Goose. Narrated by Jack Chikagian. Rain, 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 go away. Come again another day. Little Johnny wants to play. The clock. There's a neat little clock. In the schoolroom it stands, and it points to the time with its two little hands. And may we, like the clock, keep a face clean and bright, with hands ever ready to do what is right. Winter. Cold and raw the north wind does blow, bleak in the morning early. All the hills are covered with snow, and winters now come fairly. The old woman under a hill. There was an old woman lived under a hill, and if she's not gone, she lives there still. Oh dear, 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 what can the matter be? Two old women got up in an apple tree. One came down, and the other stayed till Saturday. Pat a cake. Pat a cake, pat a cake, baker's man. So I do, master, as fast as I can. Pat it and prick it, and mark it with a T. Put it in the oven for Tommy and me. A melancholy song. Trip upon trenchers, and dance upon dishes. My mother sent me for some balm. She bid me go lightly, and come again quickly, for fear the young men should do me some harm. Yet didn't you see what naughty tricks they put upon me? They broke my pitcher, and huffed my mother, and chid her daughter, and kissed my sister instead of me. Jack. Jack, be nimble. Jack, be quick. Jack, jump over the candlestick. Going to St. Ives. As I was going to St. Ives, I met a man with 7 wives. Every wife had 7 sacks. Every sack had 7 cats. Every cat had 7 kits. Kits, cats, sacks, and wives. How many were going to St. Ives? Baby Dolly. Hush, baby, my dolly, I pray you don't cry, and I'll give you some bread and some milk by and by. Or perhaps you like custard, or maybe a tart. Then to either you're welcome, with all my heart. Bees. A swarm of bees in May is worth a load of hay. A swarm of bees in June is worth a silver spoon. A swarm of bees in July is not worth a fly. If wishes were horses. If wishes were horses, beggars would ride. If turnips were watches, I would wear one by my side. And if ifs and ands were pots and pans, there'd be no work for tinkers. To market. To market, to market, to buy a fat pig. Home again, jiggity-jig. To market, to buy a fat hog. Home again, jiggity-jog. To market, to buy a plum bun. Home again, market is done. Old chairs to mend. If I'd as much money as I could spend, I never would cry old chairs to mend. Old chairs to mend, old chairs to mend. I never would cry old chairs to mend. If I'd as much money as I could tell, I never would cry old clothes to sell. Old clothes to sell, old clothes to sell. I never would cry old clothes to sell. Robin and Richard. Robin and Richard were two pretty men that lay in bed till the clock struck 10. Then up starts Robin and looks at the sky. Oh, brother Richard, the sun's very high. You go before with the bottle and bag, and I will come after on little Jack Nag. The Clever Hen. I had a little hen, the prettiest ever seen. She washed me the dishes and kept the house clean. She went to the mill to fetch me some flour. She brought it home in less than an hour. She baked me my bread. She brewed me my ale. She sat by the fire and told many a fine tale. Two birds. There were two birds sat on a stone. Fa la 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 dee. One flew away, and then there was one. Fa la 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 dee. The other bird flew after, and then there was none. Fa la 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 dee. And so the stone was left alone. Fa la 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 dee. Lucy Locket. Lucy Locket lost her pocket. Kitty Fisher found it. Nothing in it, nothing in it, but the binding round it. Barber. Barber, barber, shave a pig. How many hairs will make a wig? 4 and 20? That's enough. Give the barber a pinch of snuff. The Flying Pig. Dickory, dickory, dare, the pig flew up in the air. The man in brown soon brought him down. Dickory, dickory, dare. Hush-a-bye. Hush-a-bye, baby, on the tree-top. When the wind blows, the cradle will rock. When the bough breaks, the cradle will fall. Down will come baby, bough, cradle, and all. 3 wise men of Gotham. 3 wise men of Gotham went to sea in a bowl. If the bowl had been stronger, my song had been longer. Pippin Hill. As I was going up Pippin Hill was dirty. There I met a pretty miss, and she dropped me a curtsy. Little miss, pretty miss, blessings light upon you. If I had half a crown a day, I'd spend it all upon you. Pussy, Cat and Queen. Pussy, cat, where have you been? I've been to London to look at the Queen. Pussy, cat, what did you there? I frightened a little mouse under the chair. Hi-ho, the carrion crow. A carrion crow sat on an oak, fol-de-riddle, lo-de-riddle, hi-ding-do, watching a tailor shape his cloak. Sing hi-ho, the carrion crow, fol-de-riddle, lo-de-riddle, hi-ding-do. Wife, bring me my old bent bow, fol-de-riddle, lo-de-riddle, hi-ding-do, that I may shoot that carrion crow. Sing hi-ho, the carrion crow, fol-de-riddle, lo-de-riddle, hi-ding-do. The tailor he shot and missed his mark, fol-de-riddle, lo-de-riddle, hi-ding-do, and shot his own sow quite through the heart. Sing hi-ho, the carrion crow, fol-de-riddle, lo-de-riddle, hi-ding-do. Wife, bring brandy in a spoon. Fol-de-riddle, lol-de-riddle, hiding-do. For our old sow is in a swoon. Sing, hi-ho, the carrion crow. Fol-de-riddle, lol-de-riddle, hiding-do. ABC. Great A, little a, bouncing B. The cat's in the cupboard and can't see me. Banbury Cross. Ride a cock horse to Banbury Cross to see an old lady upon a white horse. Rings on her fingers and bells on her toes. She shall have music wherever she goes. The man in our town. There was a man in our town, and he was wondrous wise. He jumped into a bramble bush and scratched out both his eyes. But when he saw his eyes were out, with all his might and main, he jumped into another bush and scratched 'em in again. Georgie Porgy. Georgie Porgy, pudding and pie, kissed the girls and made them cry. When the boys came out to play, Georgie Porgy ran away. Wee Willie Winkie. Wee Willie Winkie runs through the town, upstairs and downstairs in his nightgown, rapping at the window, crying through the lock, "Are the children in their beds? Now it's 8 o'clock." About the bush. About the bush, Willie, about the beehive. About the bush, Willie, I'll meet you alive. 3 blind mice. 3 blind mice. See how they run. They all ran after the farmer's wife, who cut off their tails with a carving knife. Did you ever see such a thing in your life as 3 blind mice? 5 toes. This little pig went to market. This little pig stayed at home. This little pig had roast beef. This little pig had none. This little pig said, "Wee, wee, I can't find my way home." A little man. There was a little man, and he had a little gun, and his bullets were made of lead, lead, lead. He went to the brook and saw a little duck, and shot it right through their head, head, head. He carried it home to his old wife Joan, and bade her a fire to make, to roast the little duck he had shot in the brook, and he'd go and fetch the drake, drake, drake. The drake was a-swimming with its curly tail. The little man made it his mark, mark, mark. He let off his gun, but he fired too soon, and the drake flew away with a quack, quack, quack. Dr. Foster. Dr. Foster went to Gloucester in a shower of rain. He stepped in a puddle up to his middle, and never went there again. Diddle, diddle, dumpling. Diddle, diddle, dumpling. My son John went to bed with his breeches on, one stocking off and one stocking on. Diddle, diddle, dumpling. My son John. The black hen. Hickety, pickety, my black hen. She lays eggs for gentlemen. Gentlemen come every day to see what my black hen does lay. A candle. Little Nanny Etticoat, in a white petticoat and a red nose. The longer she stands, the shorter she grows. curly locks, curly locks, will you be mine? You shall not wash the dishes, nor yet feed the swine, but sit on a cushion, and sew a fine seam, and feed upon strawberries, sugar, and cream. Humpty Dumpty. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men cannot put Humpty Dumpty together again. Pins. See a pin and pick it up. All the day you'll have good luck. See a pin and let it lay. Bad luck you'll have all the day. Goosey, goosey, gander. Goosey, goosey, gander. Whither do you wander? Upstairs and downstairs, and in my lady's chamber. There I met an old man who wouldn't say his prayers. I took him by the left leg and threw him down the stairs. Bluebell boy. I had a little boy, and called him Bluebell. Gave him a little work. He did it very well. I bade him go upstairs to bring me a gold pin. In coal scuttle fell he, up to his little chin. He went to the garden to pick a little sage. He tumbled on his nose and fell into a rage. He went to the cellar to draw a little beer, and quickly did return to say there was none there. Jack Jelf. Little Jack Jelf was put on a shelf, because he could not spell pie. When his aunt, Mrs. Grace, saw his sorrowful face, she could not help saying, "Oh, fie!" And since Master Jelf was put on the shelf, because he could not spell pie, let him stand there so grim, and no more about him, for I wish him a very good bye. Jack Sprat. Jack Sprat could eat no fat, his wife could eat no lean, and so between them both they licked the platter clean. Hush-a-bye. Hush-a-bye, baby, Daddy is near. Mama is a lady, and that's very clear. The girl in the lane. The girl in the lane that couldn't speak plain cried gobble, gobble, gobble. The man on the hill that couldn't stand still went hobble, hobble, hobble. Nancy Dawson. Nancy Dawson was so fine she wouldn't get up to serve the swine. She lies in bed till 8 or 9, so it's oh poor Nancy Dawson. And do you ken Nancy Dawson, honey, the wife who sails the barley, honey? She won't get up to feed her swine. And do you ken Nancy Dawson, honey? Jack and Jill. Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water. Jack fell down and broke his crown, and Jill came tumbling after. Then up Jack got, and off did trot, as fast as he could caper, to old Dame Dob, who patched his knob with vinegar and brown paper. The alphabet. A, B, C, and D. Pray, playmates, agree. E, F, and G. Well, so it shall be. J, K, and L. In peace we will dwell. M, N, and O. To play let us go. P, Q, R, and S. Love may we possess. W, X, and Y. Will not quarrel or die. Z and ampersand. Go to school at command. Dance to your daddy. Dance to your daddy, my bonny laddie. Dance to your daddy, my bonny lamb. You shall get a fishy on a little dishy. You shall get a fishy when the boat comes home. One misty, moisty morning. One misty, moisty morning, when cloudy was the weather, I chanced to meet an old man, clothed all in leather. He began to compliment, and I began to grin. And how do you do, and how do you do, and how do you do again? Robin Hood and Little John. Robin Hood is in the mickle wood. Little John, he to the town is gone. Robin Hood, telling his beads, all in the greenwood, among the green weeds. Little John, if he comes no more, Robin Hood, we shall fret full sore. The Old Woman from France. There came an old woman from France, who taught grown-up children to dance. But they were so stiff, she sent them home in a sniff, this sprightly old woman from France. Pancake Day. Great A, little a, this is Pancake Day. Toss the ball high, throw the ball low, those that come after may sing hi-ho. Forehead, eyes, cheeks, nose, mouth, and chin. Here sits the Lord Mayor, here sits his 2 men, here sits the cock, here sits the hen, here sit the little chickens, here they run in, chin chopper, chin chopper, chin chopper, chin. 2 pigeons. I had 2 pigeons, bright and gay. They flew from me the other day. What was the reason they did go? I cannot tell, for I do not know. A sure test. If you are to be a gentleman, as I suppose you'll be, you will neither laugh nor smile, for a tickling of the knee. The Merchants of London. Hey diddle dinkety poppety pet, the merchants of London they wear scarlet, silk in the collar and gold in the hem, so merrily march the merchant men. Sleep, baby, sleep. Sleep, baby, sleep. Our cottage vale is deep. The little lamb is on the green, with woolly fleece so soft and clean. Sleep, baby, sleep. Sleep, baby, sleep. Down where the woodbines creep. Be always like the lamb, so mild, a kind and sweet and gentle child. Sleep, baby, sleep. Baa, baa, black sheep. Baa, baa, black sheep. Have you any wool? Yes, marry, have I. 3 bags full. 1 for my master, 1 for my dame, but none for the little boy who cries in the lane. Little Fred. When little Fred went to bed, he always said his prayers. He kissed Mamma, and then Papa, and straight away went upstairs. The Cat and the Fiddle. Hey diddle diddle, the cat and the fiddle, the cow jumped over the moon. The little dog laughed to see such sport, and the dish ran away with the spoon. Jack and his Fiddle. Jackie, come and give me your fiddle, if ever you mean to thrive. No, I'll not give my fiddle to any man alive. If I should give my fiddle, they'll think I've gone mad. For many a joyous day my fiddle and I have had. Little Pussy. I like little Pussy. Her coat is so warm, and if I don't hurt her, she'll do me no harm. So I'll not pull her tail, nor drive her away, but Pussy and I very gently will play. Sing a song of sixpence. Sing a song of sixpence, a pocket full of rye, 24 blackbirds baked in a pie. When the pie was opened, the birds began to sing. Was not that a dainty dish to set before the king? The king was in his counting house, counting out his money. The queen was in the parlour, eating bread and honey. The maid was in the garden, hanging out the clothes, when down came a blackbird and snapped off her nose. The Hobby Horse. I had a little hobby horse, and it was dapple grey. Its head was made of pea straw, its tail was made of hay. I sold it to an old woman for a copper groat, and I'll not sing my song again without another coat. Boy and the Sparrow. A little cock sparrow sat on a green tree, and he chirruped, so merry was he. A naughty boy came with his wee bow and arrow, determined to shoot this little cock sparrow. This little cock sparrow shall make me a stew, and his giblets shall make me a little pie too. Oh no, says the sparrow, I won't make a stew. So he flapped his wings and away he flew. Old Woman, Old Woman. There was an old woman tossed in a basket, 17 times as high as the moon, but where she was going no mortal could tell, for under her arm she carried a broom. Old woman, old woman, old woman, said I, whither, oh whither so high? To sweep the cobwebs from the sky, and I'll be with you by and by. The 1st of May. The fair maid who, the 1st of May, goes to the fields at break of day, and washes in dew from the hawthorn tree, will ever after handsome be. Sulky Sue. Here's Sulky Sue. What shall we do? Turn her face to the wall till she comes to. Little Jenny Wren. Little Jenny Wren fell sick upon a time. In came Robin Redbreast and brought her cake and wine. Eat well of my cake, Jenny, drink well of my wine. Thank you, Robin, kindly, you shall be mine. Jenny got well and stood upon her feet, and told Robin plainly she loved him not a bit. Robin, being angry, hopped upon a twig, saying, Out upon you, fie upon you, bold-faced jig. The Old Woman and the Pedlar. There was an old woman, as I've heard tell, she went to market her eggs for to sell. She went to market all on a market day, and she fell asleep on the king's highway. There came by a pedlar, whose name was Stout. He cut her petticoats all round about. He cut her petticoats up to the knees, which made the old woman to shiver and freeze. When the little old woman first did wake, she began to shiver and she began to shake. She began to wonder and she began to cry, Lord a mercy on me, this can't be I. But if it be I, as I hope it be, I've a little dog at home, and he'll know me. If it be I, he'll wag his little tail, and if it be not I, he'll loudly bark and wail. Home went the little woman all in the dark. Up got the little dog, and he began to bark. He began to bark, so she began to cry, Lord a mercy on me, this is none of I. Bobby Snooks. Little Bobby Snooks was fond of his books, and loved by his usher and master. But naughty Jack Spry, he got a black eye, and carries his nose in a plaster. The Little Moppet. I had a little moppet. I put it in my pocket, and fed it with corn and hay. There came a proud beggar, and he swore he should have her, and stole my little moppet away. The Man in the Moon. The man in the moon came tumbling down, and asked the way to Norwich. He went by the south, and burnt his mouth with eating cold peas porridge.